Federal Executive Council today approved a draft 2018 budget proposals.
Federal Executive Council approves draft proposal of 2018 budget.
Cries of marginalization are not just about offices. No, they are more fundamental. They are an attack on unity.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo challenges Nigerians on the imperatives of peace, love and unity. And Benue State government to begin the enforcement of anti-open grazing law from November 1st. Hello, good evening and thanks for joining us tonight on the Network News. We are reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. I'm Joseph Johnson. And Jennifer Igwe is in Lagos. Mariam Adura joins us from Jos, and of course, while Amenze Igabo Anyaru joins us from Benin. The executive is set to present the 2018 appropriation bill to the National Assembly. This followed the approval of the draft for the budget proposal by the Federal Executive Council. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
With President Muhammadu Buhari presiding, the Federal Executive Council meeting, which lasted more than 4 hours, critically analyzed the draft for the 2018 appropriation bill in preparation for presentation to the National Assembly.
The Federal Executive Council today approved a draft 2018 budget proposals. So we'll be liaising with the National Assembly to agree the date in which the President will formally submit the budget to them.
As contained in the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper approved by the Council in August this year, the 2018 budget is to be predicated on the crude oil production of 2.3 million barrels per day at $45 per barrel, as well as an exchange rate of 305 naira to $1. The government plans to achieve a 7% growth rate by the year 2020. Aside the budget, the Federal Executive Council also approved a memo by the Transmission Company of Nigeria towards enhancing the Incremental Power Initiative for Economic Growth and Development.
So Council approved the memo for the construction of a 14-kilometer 330 kV transmission line to get them ready to evacuate the Azura power plant in Edo State when it is ready in May 2018 for the sum of 796.6 million naira.
Also approved is another memo for the establishment of Roads Trust Fund structure. This is aimed at enhancing the existing PPP initiative that allows the private sector to get involved in roads construction in exchange for tax credit.
What we found out in the last 5 years, only 2 companies have been able to take advantage of it. So this new scheme is a collective scheme, which means if there are 10 companies on a road, the 10 of them can get together, do the road, and each of them will share a proportionate amount of tax credit, which will be recovered over a 3-year period. We expect this will mobilize significant capital into road provision across the country.
The Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing is to provide the design for the construction of the roads, while the Bureau of Public Procurement will make available certificate of no objection towards making sure that the costs are reasonable.
What we expect is significant road project delivery, especially in areas, for example, industrial clusters where they're affected by very, very bad roads. Those companies can then get together jointly, do the roads and recover their money through a tax credit system. We're really trying to widen the available pool of funds for road infrastructure provision.
The Minister of Finance was emphatic that the federal government will not allow any company to apply and use more than 50% of the tax for the scheme in any 1 year, saying, however, that banks, oil and service companies could get involved. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Joining us to provide perspective on the approval of the draft 2018 budget is an economic analyst, Yushau Aliyu. You're welcome to NTA Network News.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Now, with this approval, the budget is likely to be presented early. What does this portend for the Nigerian economy?
It's a tradition of all economists to present a budget to the National Assembly and also for the National Assembly to look into it. But what matters more is the present economic situation and the provision that is contained in the frameworks.
Okay, so very quickly now, what should the nation look out for in the 2018 budget?
It's going to be a matured relationship between the executive and the legislators, and it's going to be a fast-track budget implementation because there is a lot of issues attached to the political economy.
Thank you very much, Yushau Aliyu, for sharing your thoughts with us on NTN Network News.
Thank you very much.
Let's turn our attention now to the judiciary, where Chief Justice of Nigeria Walter Onnoghen has described as worrisome the over-sensational reporting of corruption and financial crime cases by some media in Nigeria. The Chief Justice, while addressing some justices and judges across the country at a capacity-building workshop in Abuja, observed that many of the cases were openly analyzed and decided on the pages of newspapers and televisions that played host to some legal practitioners.
As we are all aware, there is now speedier dispensation of trials, not just in respect of high-profile cases, but for all cases. These cases are being dealt with expeditiously to instill public confidence in the criminal justice system and the fight against corruption.
He said the judiciary has a crucial role to play in ensuring that the mounting legal challenges to the success of the fight against corruption are addressed. The Chief Justice spoke on emerging trends in the investigation and prosecution of economic and financial crimes. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the event commended the judiciary for the reform in the sector towards prompt and proper prosecution of economic and financial crime cases. Benue State government is set to enforce the anti-open grazing law. Governor Samuel Ortom, who informed newsmen in Abuja that the law takes effect from the 1st of November, pledged to protect the interest of everyone in the state. Muhammad Ali reports.
The clashes between farmers and herders in Benue State has claimed lives and property which government put at about 95 billion naira between 2012 and 2016. This has made the state government to enact an anti-open grazing law for peace and harmonious coexistence. Governor Samuel Ortom says it is the beginning of a new dawn in the state.
It is win-win for all. The law protects farmers and herdsmen. And after carefully listening to explanation, the leadership of Mayor Tiala accepted that truly this law is friendly and they too will embrace it.
Governor Ortom says he has called for the arrest of a splinter group of herders who are threatening the law, adding that he has also reported the threat to the presidency. He urged all genuine persons interested in taking advantage of the opportunities ranching will provide in the state to invest to improve the economy of Benue and Nigeria at large. In Abuja, Muhammad Ali, NTA News.
And joining me now in the studio to talk more on the anti-open grazing bill is Mr. Samuel Ortom, the Benue State Governor. Welcome to you, Governor.
Thank you very much.
Now, talk us through what this anti-grazing bill seeks to accomplish.
It seeks to accomplish peace, harmony in Benue State, and it seeks to protect all. Protect our farmers from invasion and attack, and also seek to protect the herdsmen from cattle rustlers. So it is a bill that will provide security and peace for Benue State.
Okay, Governor, ranching is capital intensive, and what is on ground for those interested? I'm talking of infrastructure and state government assistance.
Of course, ranching is capital intensive, but you know that cattle breeding is business. So you have to invest to get money. And so for us as a state, we have made adequate provision for leasing of land to prospective people who are ready to establish ranching. and we are going to provide security. We are also discussing with the federal government to see how we can help the herdsmen at this initial stage. There are challenges, there's no doubt about that. We're going to establish pilot ranches in 3 senatorial districts, 6 of them, 2 per senatorial district. And the federal government also is coming to establish pilot ranching. And we believe that it will help the farmers. But at the end of the day, as I said, ranching is expensive, but it's business. You invest it and get money.
Exactly. Okay, Governor, just before I let you go, there was grace of 6 months before the law, will take effect. Any hope of an extension as requested by the Cattle Breeders Association?
Well, I think the 6 months was okay, and we have no intention whatsoever to extend, because extending it will be inviting chaos in the state, because this is getting to the period of harvesting and then moving into the second phase of farming, which is dry season farming. So there will be no room for extension, but we are ready to assist the herdsmen. This law seeks to protect all. It has human face. We'll do everything within our resources and powers to ensure that the herdsmen are also protected. But those who do not have the intention of ranching can go to any other state or where they can do open grazing. The truth is that there is no land in Benue State again. All the lands are being cultivated and are ready for farming. So that is the challenge we have.
Okay, thank you very much, Governor, for sharing your thoughts with us on NTN Network News.
Thank you very much.
I was speaking with Governor Samuel Ortom, the Benue State Governor, and he just spoke on the anti-open grazing bill. Moving on now, from Benue, let's go to Niger State, where peace that hitherto eluded some communities in Niger State, ravaged by communal clashes between farmers and herdsmen, is gradually being reinstated. This follows Governor Abubakar Sani Bello's marching order directing the Office of the Nomadic Affairs to quell all forms of conflict. Rose Jia is following up conflict management strategies in our reports.
So far, 12 communities in 6 local government areas of Niger State have experienced communal clashes between farmers and herdsmen from 2009 to 2017. All these communities came under severe attacks and reprisals that led to destruction of lives and property. This informed the creation of the Office of Nomadic Affairs by the Governor Abubakar Sani Bello administration to get over these concerns through reconciliatory meetings, to which Abdullahi Adamu Babayo is leading the emissary as Director General. The Chiri Peace Talk, which was a litmus test, was a success as aggrieved parties resolved to shield swords and move on with their long-standing relationship.
But we are going to live in peace with Fulani people. We are satisfied with the resolution, and henceforth peace will ring in my surroundings.
Alhamdulillah, another conflict between farmers and herdsmen in Gurusu village, Boso local government area of the state, was averted by the traditional council that nipped it in the bud. Here, a farmer who acted on rumor and impulse and issued quit notice to herdsmen in the community was dragged before the district head of Boso Gabas for creating pandemonium.
Advise him, the farmers, no one should take the law into his hand. That is why we are here for them.
Something that can be solved within 2-3 minutes. When we let it happen, we'll be panicking for 20-30 days. If other states, they are able to imbibe this particular habit, we'll be talking about peace in Nigeria.
Ardo Abdullahi Babayo, who has been able to bring all existing Fulani associations under one umbrella to enhance peace and unity, says he is poised to put an end to the era of carrying AK-47 but return to the days of peaceful grazing and farming. This is a sensitization message the forum took to farmers and herdsmen in Mashegu local government area. He decried the issue of charge and bail, which results in herdsmen selling off their cattle to meet up, thereby resorting to stealing, kidnapping, and cattle rustling to survive. Rose Jia, NTN News.
Turning to the legislature now, where Senate has passed the Chartered Institute of Entrepreneurs Establishment Bill 2017. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adeguloye reports that this followed the consideration of the report by the Senate Committee on Establishment and Public Service Matters.
The aim of the bill is to enable compliance with necessary legislative processes. And given contemporary trends and international best practices in entrepreneurship development, the bill was subjected to appropriate legislative procedures.
Interactive sessions were held with stakeholders, practitioners, and consultants on entrepreneur development and related regulatory agencies.
The report of the Joint Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, and Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes on the Proceeds of Crimes Bill 2017 was also considered.
In some circumstances, they will never come back to the case. At that point, you've been discharged. So that means you have not been found guilty. So in matters such as this, those things you have been restricted to you, that is your goods that are seized, should be given to you.
If you don't acquit him, that means there's still something pending. We know that jeopardy does not attach when all you have is a discharge and not an acquittal. Subject to the law of limitations, statute of limitations, the prosecutor can always refile.
Those that operate these laws, because the institutions are not strong enough, are not in line with the best practice of the law, and there's always a problem. So we must, as we pass these laws, also be practical and look at our environment.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has continued to receive commendations for passing into law the Northeast Development Commission Bill. In his interactions with newsmen, sponsor of the bill, Senator representing Borno South, Ali Ndume, expressed optimism that the fortunes of Northeast indigenes will change for the better.
It's a really commendable thing, and not only that, it is very necessary and timely, because the humanitarian crisis in the Northeast is so humongous.
He thanked the people of the Northeast and Nigerians in general for their support in the establishment of the Northeast Development Commission. Dennis Adeguloye, NTA News.
And the House of Representatives has observed with concern that some chairmen of Governing Council of Nigerian Universities are not qualified for such position. To address this, the legislators stressed the need to stipulate the minimum qualification for the position of the chairman. This followed the consideration of two bills that seek to amend the University of Lagos and Obafemi Awolowo University Acts. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwu has more.
University governing councils are responsible for approving the financial guidelines of the institution, determine the terms and conditions of appointment of personnel, and to annually review the university's budget and its administration. Because of the strategic role of this council, members of the House of Representatives passed for second reading two bills seeking to stipulate the minimum qualification for chairman of the Governing Council of University of Lagos and Awolowo University, sponsored by Representatives James Falake and Ayo Omidiron.
By means of the statute SHARP, establish a code of intellectual property governance. This is aimed at stamping out plagiarism within the university system.
Let us have the same requirements for these positions in all these universities.
Our traditional rulers are well learned. We have traditional rulers that are PhD holders.
At the same time, we must let the university know that the products are no longer what it used to be.
Mr. Speaker, the third area again is democratization of appointment of deans, especially by the Senate.
A motion on the need to declare state of emergency on rehabilitation of federal roads across the country by Representatives Shegun Adekola and Afe Olowokere, and another one by Representative Lego Idabo on the need to harmonize the biometric data of Nigerian citizens were considered. The chairman of the Northeast Caucus in the House of Representatives, Mohammed Mungono, commended President Muhammadu Buhari for signing into law the Northeast Development Commission Bill.
Mr. President, and indeed the federal government is responsible and responsive to the yearnings, aspirations, and sufferings that was induced into the northeast as a result of the Boko Haram insurgency.
The House approved the 2017 FCT and Federal Capital Territory Area Councils and Auxiliary Matters budget of 222.3 billion naira as submitted by the acting chairman of the Committee on FCT, Representative Sergio Sogun. Members received the report of each committee on healthcare services on the 2017 budget of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, and that of the Nigerian Port Authorities by the Committee on Ports, Harbours and Waterways. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
In other news, Professor Adesoji Adesina and Dr. Bruce Onogbakpere have emerged the 2017 winners of the Nigerian National Merit Award, NNMA. The Chairman Governing Board of Nigerian National Merit Award, NNMA, Professor Shekarau Aku, gave the hint while briefing the media on the program for this year's awards ceremony in Abuja. Victor Azu reports.
The Nigerian National Order of Merit, NNOM, is an annual award for exceptional contributions in the fields of science, medicine, engineering and technology, and the humanities, which include arts and culture. Over the years, this award, organized by the Nigerian National Merit Award, NNMA, has rewarded academic and intellectual contributions after a thorough scrutiny of nominees and their works. This year, 58-year-old Professor of Chemical Engineering Adesoji Adesina and veteran artist, 85-year-old Dr. Bruce Onogbakpere have emerged winners for their works in the technology and humanities categories.
The investiture of the awardees will be statutorily performed by Mr. President on Thursday, 7th December.
The award comes with some privileges, including a 10 million naira cash prize and a certificate co-signed by the President and Chairman Governing Board of the NNMA. The Nigerian National Order of Merit is the highest award in the country for academic and intellectual contributions. In Abuja, Victor Azu, NTA News.
Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated the Chinese President Xi Jinping on his re-election as the Secretary General of the Communist Party and the leader of the nation. In a statement by the presidential spokesman Femi Adesina, President Buhari expressed belief in the capability of the CPC leadership and President Xi to take China to a new level and enhance its standing around the globe in the next 5 years. The Nigerian leader praised the existing cordial relationship between China and Nigeria, as well as for sustaining the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. Ahead on the news tonight, Nigeria police debunks allegation of car gift. Details shortly. Stay with us.
1967 to 1970, Nigeria went through a horrifying civil war. It didn't matter who was wrong or right. Everybody suffered. Those who fought that war say it should never happen again.
So a lot of people will say, but you were leading the first one. Yes, I led the first one. I don't think a second one is necessary. We should have learned from that first one. Otherwise, the dead would have been to no avail, would all have been in vain.
The words of our elders are full of wisdom.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Glow's unbelievable prize extravaganza just turned the week upside down. Thousands of winners will win hundreds of millions in prizes. Recharge Monday and win a flat-screen TV. Ring in Recharge Tuesday with free 4G LTE phones. Recharge Wednesday and feel the power with free generators. Recharge Thursday with free fridges. Free microwaves make Friday free day. On Recharge Saturday, free Glow 4G MiFis. And just when you thought it couldn't get any bigger, a Sunday recharge could win you a car. Recharge and win every day. The more you recharge, the better your chances. The largest data network, Glow, Grandmasters of Data.
Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Hello, I just got back from the States and I need a SIM so I can have a number.
You need.
What's nyafu nyafu?
If you join MTN, you go enjoy bonus bracket.
What's bracket?
See, only bonus wouldn't give you go fit to do anything you like with them. Chatting, browsing, texting, calling, to any network for Nigeria and no condition at all. Completely free dot. Everything you buckle.
What's buckle?
If you buy the charge card 100 naira, they will give you 600 naira. If you call the charge 200 naira, as a big baby to you is now, they will give you 1,200 naira.
Hey, brother, show me the way now.
Get an MTN SIM, register it, and get 6 times of all your recharges every time you recharge, and much more.
MTN, everywhere you go.
The Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, the Made in Nigeria campaign. In the midst of unprecedented multiple challenges, our great country Nigeria, as Africa's largest economy, is surely marching on to a new era of all-round prosperity, especially through re-engineered and diversified economy, powerfully driven by the change agenda of President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR.
We will patronize local entrepreneurs. We will promote the manufacturing powerhouses. Our objective is to make Nigeria a new manufacturing hub.
It is not time to complain. It is time to join the campaign. It is time for economic recovery, growth and diversification of our economy. By Made in Nigeria.
You're welcome back. You're watching NTN Network News. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has called on Nigerians to till the path of reconciliation towards peace and unity. He made the call at a breakfast prayer meeting facilitated by some members of the National Assembly. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
To all, especially the followers of Christ who believe in the efficacy of prayers, now is the time to fellowship, do a self-appraisal and call for healing of the country through the power of God. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo chronicled challenges the nation has been facing starting from the 1966 military coup and other crises occurring till date, which have claimed thousands of lives.
Crimes of marginalization are not just about offices. No, they are more fundamental. They are an attack on unity. They are an attack on Christ.
Making references to some passages in the Holy Bible, the Vice President said the mandate of believers is to preach the gospel of peace, unity, and love as directed by Christ.
There is no government that can redeem the land. It is the children of God who have the mandate to redeem this land. And you and I, we do not have to be many. Scripture tells us that we are the salt of the earth. We are the light of the world. Salt does not come in large quantities, very small quantities, and it makes the difference. Every time that you see a person who has been thrust into a leadership position, it's because God has a plan to use that person to do his will.
Endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit.
Passages from the Bible read by Speaker Yakubu Togara and Deputy Senate President Ike Kuremado, who represented the Senate President, all point to the direction of oneness.
We have a service in the National Assembly every week, and we've championed this. We've been championing this for a while.
The right use of power, hate what is evil, and to love what is right. This is according to this publication by the Bible Society of Nigeria. An event such as this would always remind us again to do what is right for this country. From the International Conference Center in Abuja, Jide Onifade, NT News.
Meanwhile, some participants at the 8th National Prayer Breakfast have described the event as a moral booster for Nigerians to become more committed in nation building. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim spoke to some of them who expressed strong hope for the nation.
With focus on the theme of the event, which is reconciliation, God's power, the new pathway to unity, the respondents expressed the hope that Nigeria will be stronger in her socio-economic and political life. For this to be achieved, they said Nigerians must anchor their faith on the message by Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo, which centered on unity for national development.
All Nigerians must look away from their individual selves and from their tribal origins to a greater picture of Nigeria and a bigger picture of global expression.
It's time for the church, the body of Christ, to now take up the responsibility of standing in the gap for the redemption of the unity of this country.
We need to a little bit persevere. We need to be patient. Our level of reaction to violence and all that should be curtailed.
So we thank God for putting Nigeria together and giving Nigeria at this time godly men who believe in his power and seek his face in governance.
They also challenged Christians, especially those in leadership positions, to lead in accordance with the gospel of Jesus Christ, founded on love, peace, and unity. Kenneth Nanim, NTN News.
In the meantime, the Interfaith Dialogue Forum is advocating for all religious-based authorities to embark on retraining of clerics and inculcating the culture of tolerance and mutual respect in their worship life. This was at a press briefing where the forum urged Nigerians to keep the vision of one united and peaceful Nigeria alive.
Pastoralists and farming communities have lived in a symbiotic relationship over the years. They have always resorted to traditional mechanisms of conflict resolution based on mutual respect and the need for peaceful coexistence.
We want to plead with our security agencies. We know it's a very hard time, very hard situation, but I think people will have some relief if they feel like that the security agencies have held some people responsible for their actions.
The Interfaith Dialogue Forum for Peace was established in January this year in a process facilitated by International Dialogue Center, Vietnam, whose mandate is to promote the use of dialogue to prevent and resolve conflict globally. A special advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, has commended Nigerians for the outpouring of prayers and show of goodwill to President Muhammadu Buhari since his return to the country. This was during a visit by a delegation of well-wishers to the President, led by Eze Ebere, who is the national patron of the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS. The presidential spokesman informed his guests that the positive reviews on the president's handling of conflicts in various parts of the country had been most encouraging, noting that president remains focused in saving Nigeria. Now, wife of the president, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, has reacted to the news of alleged car gifts of 2 SUVs presented to her by the Inspector General of Police. In a statement by the Director of Information to the wife of the president, Suleiman Haruna, Mrs. Buhari says since the assumption of office of her husband as president of Nigeria, she did not receive the mentioned vehicles. She maintains that the vehicle she is presently using belongs to her family. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force has described as baseless the allegations that the Inspector General of Police bought 2 jeeps for the wife of Nigeria's President Aisha Buhari. A statement by the force spokesperson CSP Jimo Moshood said the allegations of the vehicles and the IGP's manipulation of his retirement age are unfounded and misleading, as there was never a time Mrs. Aisha Buhari requested for vehicles for her use from the IGP directly or indirectly, as claimed by Senator Issa Misau. The statement further described the allegations as ill-motivated and assured members of the public of the continued commitment to ensuring a crime-free society, saying the IGP will not be distracted by misguided individuals. More groups have endorsed the re-election bid of Governor Willie Obiano. The latest groups to do so are Anambra State chapter of Tricycle and Motorbike.
Event which witnessed Abga faithful, party stalwarts, keke drivers and Okada riders converged at Amobia Sports Club field. Making their endorsement, leadership of the 2 groups noted that Governor Willie Obiano-led administration has implemented friendly policies that favor the downtrodden which they represent.
Akwedike Global is the governor who we have to support, and he has to give us support because he cares for the poor masses and he is the messiah of the poor masses.
His Excellency put together an economic stimulus package, and in that stimulus package, it captured the downtrodden. It captured, it catered to the Okada and the Keke drivers, knowing fully well that they are at the bottom of the food chain in our society.
This Governor Willie Obiano is the #1 governor in Nigeria.
While appreciating their endorsement, Governor Willie Obiano charged members of the group to report any suspected person or persons in their neighborhood to the police, noting that security is the watchword of his administration.
And I thank you now for the endorsement we will do. And I say that we will be so. When I say that the governor come 2018, will be so.
Earlier, the campaign train arrived Ihala and Ekusigo local government area, where the governor announced plans to supply 33 communities from Nnewi North and South, Ekusigo and some parts of Idemili 16 hours uninterrupted light through the provision of a 33 megawatts line in the area. From Oka, Benson, Osadebe, NTN News.
With emphasis on the development of the agricultural sector to diversify the economy, stakeholders are working round the clock to ensure that farmers have access to the essentials for improved agricultural produces and by extension guarantee the nation's desired food security. To this end, a capacity building workshop was organized for desk officers of Nigerian Agricultural Insurance Corporation in financial institutions across the country. Mohammed Umar Ajingi reports.
Farmers in Nigeria most times suffer losses of their farm produce to natural disasters, which often give them setbacks simply because most of them do not have cover from financial institutions, thereby denying them loan facilities, owing to not being registered with any agricultural insurance scheme. This explains why the establishment of the Nigerian Agricultural Insurance Corporation is perceived by stakeholders in agriculture as a welcome development, as the organization is poised to provide cover to all agricultural projects in Nigeria, including the peasant and large-scale farmers.
Any agric farmer, whether it is rural, whether it is small scale, whether it's big scale, must take insurance at all levels. We are reaching out to the grassroots farmers to tell them that insurance is very important.
All farmers that enjoys federal government funds or facilities to make sure that they insure their crops or livestock with Nike.
The workshops serve as an avenue for agricultural desk officers to brainstorm on measures to strengthen the agricultural credit scheme for enhanced food security in the country. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
Federal lawmakers on a retreat. Over to Jennifer in our Lagos Network Center for details. Jennifer, it's good to see you. For details. Jennifer, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Joseph. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. The National Assembly has given assurance that grievances that affect the lives of Nigerians will be treated with utmost priority and sense of justice and fairness when such petitions are received. The Chairman Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions, Samuel Anyanwu, stated this at the opening of a two-day retreat organized for members in Lagos. Vera Chimuba reports.
The National Assembly receives and responds to petitions through committees on ethics, privileges and public petitions. It is also making efforts to formalize the code of conduct to enable the parliamentarians conduct themselves with integrity while adhering to ethical standards. The retreat is therefore to further strengthen the National Assembly's petition system and to boost the capacity of members to handle petitions.
Within 2 years, we have already concluded 92 petitions. By the time we give our recommendation, and any organization, institution or commission that does not implement that recommendation of the parliament will be summoned.
In the House of Reps, we received more than 900 petitions, of which we've treated more than 600 petitions, and I think Nigerians, I can assure that are happy about it.
Senate Leader Lawa Ahmed, in a message, said Nigerians should explore the benefits of ICT through e-engagement initiative. The Director General, National Institute for Legislative Studies, called for synergy and collaboration to strengthen the procedural strategies in dealing with petitions.
It's important that we continuously organize training programs for them so that they would improve their skills in handling the very important functions of those two committees.
The retreat was organized by the National Institute for Legislative Studies. In Lagos, Vera Chimuba, NTA News.
Now, in expressing appreciation to its loyal customers, Malta Guinness, through its Go Get It consumer promotion, has presented checks to some raffle draw lucky winners in Lagos. Abolade Salami witnessed the presentation.
Described as the most loved malt brand in Nigeria due to its ingredients like vitamins, energy and iron, Malta Guinness, an innovative brand of vitality, has stepped up its satisfactory quality through the Go Get It consumer promotion with the presentation of check of 1 million naira to a lucky winner, as well as 3 winners who smiled home with 100,000 naira each.
In fact, I would tell people out there that it's real. They should keep drinking Malta Guinness and keep playing. You don't know your chances, man.
If you are still doubting, go get it. Thank you very much, Malta Guinness.
This is my first time since I've been participating in all this raffle. This is the first time they called me and I won. I'm impressed.
Brand manager Malta Guinness, Ifoma Agu, says the weekly raffle draw is targeted at putting smiles on the faces of its customers.
One thing we believe is that dreams don't just run on drive, they require energy to make real. We know that people can actually turn the Malta goodness into greatness, and that's what this platform is all about. That's why we're saying to everyone out there, go get it in the Malta Guinness Go Get It promotion. The promotion, which runs from 8th August till 6th November 2017, will provide an avenue for customers who consume either Malta Guinness or Abs Light to participate in the draw by sending numbers under the crown cork to a short code 32011. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Provision of basic food, quality education and vocational skills that will lead to economic empowerment and wealth creation have been identified as veritable tools to lifting Nigerians out of poverty. The Chief Executive Officer, Union Bank of Nigeria, Emeka Emuwa, stated this at an event organized to mark the 100 years anniversary of the bank in Lagos. Rotimi Oluwagbemi compiled the report.
Dignitaries as well as traditional rulers across the country gathered to celebrate the 100 years of big, strong and reliable bank in Nigeria, Union Bank. The Chief Executive Officer, Union Bank of Nigeria, Emeka Enua, says the bank in the past 100 years has been able to touch many Nigerian lives through innovative banking system. He was optimistic that the bank will give more reliable banking services to Nigerians in the next 100 years.
If we can do all the things that we've talked about today, we will be able to bring in many, many more new consumers, and we'll be able to achieve prosperity.
How we can collectively move Nigeria forward so that we as businesses and as private sector, as commercial businesses, can reap the benefits of a teeming economy.
The Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, urged Nigerians to embrace peace for national development.
Devolution is not about ethnicity or religion. Devolution or revenue allocation formula or what, it's all about bringing development to the grassroots.
Other speakers spoke on the contribution of Union Bank to the banking sector in the country.
Finding that teacher of the future and bringing them into the classroom is no longer the responsibility of government alone.
And it's exciting to see a lot of banks now have SME desks. I mean, I guess 10 years ago it probably wasn't the same, but let's even push them to do more.
Union Bank of Nigeria was established in 1917. It's one of the largest commercial banks in the country, serving individuals, small and medium-sized enterprises, and corporate organizations. The bank has branches spread across the country, as well as in London, Ghana, Benin Republic, and South Africa.
You're still on to NTA Network News. More reports ahead after this timeout. Stay tuned.
Come, my sisters, I got some special discount on data.
No, my name is sister. I go give you cheaper data.
Aha, sister. Now me get your bonga data for here.
Hold on. Oba go, everybody will enter. There's no need to rush.
Now so there's more than enough data for everyone, eh? Pepper them gang.
Now so you pepper, I've been Yoruba pepper than the other for the data.
Excuse me, ladies first.
It's free data time for all Glow subscribers. Tuesday, October 31st is Free Data Day nationwide. Get 200 MB free data and make something happen. The largest data network, Glow, Grandmasters of Data.
Baby, to me, jelly. Now you can find Coke Studio in your Coca-Cola bottle. Simply check under the crown for a code, dial *505# and send the code to download exclusive music, coloring back tones, and wallpapers of your favorite artists.
Catch the show on AIT every Sunday by 6 p.m. Promo exclusive to MTN subscribers only.
Coke Studio, where music meets.
Where is the pulp? The pulp. Where is the pulp? Where is the pulp?
Taste the goodness of real orange pulp in every gulp.
Where's the pulp?
5 Alive Pulpy Orange, now in your neighborhood.
This is your playground. Get free 200,000 Naira preloaded on the new Jumbo SIM. Yes, 200,000 Naira. It's massive. Now every SIM is a Jumbo SIM. Get it, use it, flaunt it. The largest data network, Glow, Grandmasters of Data.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, in collaboration with Africa Development Studies Center, presents Leadership and Performance Management Innovation Conference. Theme: Strengthening Competence and Competitiveness for Internationalization of the Public Sector in Nigeria. Date: 7th to 10th November 2017. Venue: ASCON Complex, Topo Badagry, Lagos State. Conference fee: 100,000 naira. For further inquiries, please contact Course Registrar Asin Wankwo on 08032134367. Announcer: Director General, ASCON.
NTN Network News, glad to have you back. And from Lagos, we head to Jos, where Mariam is standing by with more reports. Mariam.
Good evening. You're welcome to Jos. Heads of administration of the NTA have been asked to critically look into issues of staff discipline, mentorship and succession plans for the organization. NTA's Director General Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed said this at the Nigerian Television Authority 2017 Heads of Administration Conference in Jos. Ndeyang and Diabagyang has this one.
The annual conference will afford the administrators opportunity to take a critical look at the operations of NTA towards repositioning her for greater exploit. The Director General, Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, emphasized the need for them to examine the issues of succession and mentorship in view of the increased number of staff who are retiring due to either age or years of service. He further decried the high level of indiscipline, which the DG noted must be checked.
The rise in incidences of indiscipline in NTA, what have we done there? What is it that we are doing in the past that we are not doing now? We don't have a system of mentorship. We don't have people who take others under their wings and train them. So NTA will continue to take stuff like that very, very seriously.
On his part, the Executive Director, Administration and Training, Dr. Steve Egbo, said as administrators, they have specific mandates to project and protect the NTA.
You have to continue on a daily basis to work, to strive, to make yourself better than you are. It is only when you do that that even NTA will begin to appreciate how important you are.
While in Jos, the Director General of NTA, Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, visited the state government where he intimated the state governor, Simon Bako Lalong, on efforts to reposition NTA and solicited for the state government's support. Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State, represented by his deputy, Professor Sonny Tioden, commended NTA for maintaining her position as the flagship of television broadcasting in Nigeria and the African continent. In Jos, Ndenyan and Diabagyang, NTA News.
That's the much we can take from here. Joseph, it's back to you.
Mariam, thank you. Menze in our Benin Network Center is next.
Joseph, welcome to Benin. If Nigeria must remain on the path of sustainable development, government must begin to place more emphasis on investments in technical education. This is the submission of stakeholders in the education sector as they converge on Benin to celebrate the National Business and Technical Examinations Board, NAPTEB, as it turns 25. Agatha Egwarejo reports that the Minister of State for Education, Professor Anthony Anwuka, was there.
A veritable tool for sustainable manpower development and increased access to higher education. The journey so far is the theme for NAPTEB's Golden Jubilee, and stakeholders say it is apt to draw more attention to the benefits of vocational and technical skills for job creation. Minister of State for Education, Professor Anthony Anwuka, tasked the examination body to raise up for the nation a middle class that will drive development through skills.
We need to develop technical education in this country in order to harness the potential that is there.
Professor Ifoma Isiugu Abanihe, Registrar and Chief Executive of NAPTEP, wants a change in the perception of Nigerians that technical and vocational trainings are for school dropouts.
Go the way of technical and equip your skills, and doesn't stop you from, the sky is still your limit.
Stakeholders agree that though there has been improvement in the last 25 years, there is still more work to be done.
I also want to urge each and every one of you who are staff members of NAPTEP that whatever NAPTEP is the product of your handiwork.
The workshops for the skill development must be well developed, well equipped.
Established in 2002, the board, among other functions, conducts a general craft level and advanced craft level technical and business examinations. In Benin, Agatha Egwaruju, NTA News.
That's a bit from here. Joseph, is back to you. Good night.
Thank you. Sports is next on our lineup after this timeout. Please stay with us.